belief in them. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday. You can see me right here on YouTube, and you can hear me. Stay tuned. But it is the Locker Room, and we're going through day 5, little nightcap, if you will. Day 5 was interesting. It started out with a little bit of rain. Looked like perhaps we might have a cancellation. However, that cancellation did not happen. It held over. And I got a feeling the next few days, I feel like we're due for some sort of cancellation, some sort of move into the bubble. But as of right now, the weather is held up. Andre Johnson was on the field. He was all smiles. There was a cool moment with he and D'Amico Ryans in which they kind of embraced each other. Cal and Hannah McNair, they were making the rounds. They're in good spirits. Got to talk to them a little bit. They made the announcement that the roof may not be ready to go once the season starts. Could be a little bit of a struggle. I don't know how the hell they're going to handle that. By the way, if you want to get in, if you want to talk, I've put the link in the comments, and I'll actually put that link. I'll pin it on the YouTube comments if you want to get in. But other than that, there were only 2 team periods today. If you want the full recap, go back to my 1:30 stream. Going to have a 1 o'clock tomorrow after practice. But basically, you had only 2 periods. Normally, there have been 4 team periods. There was only 2 today. Fortunately, they were red zone. It was the first look that we got of this Texan squad in the red zone. Stefon Diggs caught the first pass from C.J. Stroud, a touchdown on play number 1. 2 plays later, Stroud found Brevin Jordan in the front right of the end zone. And then you had Davis Mills on the 5th play. He found Cade Stover just kind of through the seam. And that was really the highlights of practice. There were a few other. Diggs had a couple more catches. He got pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. But yeah, it was a meh practice. There was a little bit of energy, but it wasn't anything crazy. I just pinned the message if y'all want to get in with the open lines and come through. I put that at the top of the YouTube if y'all want to come through and ask any questions or anything like that. I wanted to take this night stream to talk about and react to some guys who I don't know that the Texans are like really dependent on, but they're guys that this coaching staff and this regime have shown a lot of confidence in. And through thick and thin, through the ups and downs, for different reasons, these guys have been believed in by this coaching staff and this front office in different ways. And I'm talking about Jalen Pitre and Tytus Howard. Tytus Howard is one of the highest paid right tackles in the league. Sometimes when he's on social media, he might kind of rub some people the wrong way. But they're paying him like one of the best right tackles in football. He does seem to have an interesting perspective in the fact that he came here in 2019. So he had that success in 2019. They're in the divisional round against Kansas City. They got him up 24-0. You're feeling good about Deshaun Watson. And then all of a sudden, stuff kind of comes tumbling down. And now here we are. Big season last year. He misses a large chunk of it. And now here he is with good vibes. So I'd like to see and hear Tytus Howard's perspective. This offensive line, it would be nice if this offensive line was really elite. Tytus Howard would be a big part of that. He's been on the field from beginning to end. Laramie Tunsil hasn't stepped on the field in camp yet. Let's hear from Tytus Howard, who was given the extension last year, 1 year before they had to do it. Let's hear Tytus Howard and see if what you guys think of Tytus Howard's perspective heading into year 6.
Hey guys. Tytus, how do you compare where the line came in last year to this year?
Man, we're the whole better place. We got all the guys, healthy right now. We got that camaraderie. We've been playing together for a year. I'm just happy, to be a part of, the O-line this year, healthy. So, I'm doing what I can do to, stay healthy and play the best I can play. But I feel like the O-line's in a good place right now, and we're only going to get better.
How good do you feel about those two on your side, you and Shaq, having been together as long as you have?
Great. Shaq is the best player I've ever played beside. He's the best, he's one of the best guards in the NFL, most consistent guards in the NFL. I think he's played more snaps than anybody in the league since like 2015. So, just being beside somebody who's that consistent is going to help me with my consistency to be better every day. And, he makes me better every day. And he helps me a lot, he's been playing this game for a long time. So, I feel like we're going to, be a deadly combo. So, I'm looking forward to the season.
What have you seen out of him and, the work that he's put in the offseason to get back?
Growth, man, maturity. Kenyon's matured a lot. He's put in a lot of work. His body is in the best position he's been in. His mind is in the best position he's been in. He's very confident, in his ability, and he's putting it all together, man. He's been out here putting some good stuff on the field for these first couple of days of camp, and I'm excited to see him grow. Like I told him, I've been in the same position he's in right now. You just got to keep working, man. Just keep grinding. It's gonna, he's gonna get better, and I feel like it's gonna be a good year for him.
Did you have any conversations with him about what he needs to do if he wants to stick around in this league and be a player on this team? Like, where did that maturity kind of just snap in?
It's not just me.
We're going to count the Tytus Howard compliments too. I mean, he has said he has given some compliments to his teammates. So I'm keeping track of the Tytus Howard compliments. It is the Locker Room. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Appreciate everyone for rolling through on the night stream. We're going to have the live practice tomorrow, also at 5 a.m., dropping the Kamari Lassiter Podium Critic Breakdown. So the content continues. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Take it away, Tytus.
It's all the guys. It's me, LT, Shaq. It's all those guys that have been playing football for a good bit of time. And, we just pouring into them because you got to think about Kenyon came into this league as a young kid. He was the youngest guy in his draft class, and he's younger than some of the rookies this year. So you got to take that into fact, that he's still a young kid and he got a lot to grow. But he's been taking in everything we've been pouring into him, and he's been very positive about everything this year. So I'm excited to see him continue to grow. It's not going to be perfect. It's not perfect for us. I'm going into year 6 and it's still not perfect for me. But if you can keep showing that you putting in the work and you're doing your best you can do, it's only great things going to happen.
Did you do this? Anything different you do this off season to get ready for this year? Did you approach it differently? Did you do anything different?
For me, I rehab from November all the way up to training camp. I was in rehab. So the biggest thing for me, different areas, is just staying on top of all the little things for my body. All the recovery, trying to eat the best I can eat, getting enough sleep, all the little things that's going to help me because, I got the talent, football comes easy to me. It comes easy to all of us because we've been doing this our whole life. But, it's the little things that you got to take care of off the field that help you on the field because my biggest problem is that I haven't been able to stay on the field. So I haven't played a full season yet. This is my year. I think I'm going to play a full season, knock on wood. But I'm doing everything I can do to stay healthy and perform the best I can perform. And I'm feeling good, and I'm going to play great.
Looking forward to playing your full season. And then I know LT hasn't practiced yet, but last season the offensive line, you guys took some hits. How do you see the offensive line coming together this year now, second year, where you guys know each other better, and hopefully you guys are on the path to being fully healthy?
Pretty good, man. LT's doing really good. I think it just taking his stuff a little different, but LT's doing great. He's in great shape. He's feeling good. But as far as last year, man, and this year, I just think like the depth of guys that we got on this team is very high. We got a lot of guys that can play some football. And, we got the Rook Fisher coming in. Man, we've been pouring into him. He's getting better every day. So he's learning a lot from me and LT. And, he's going to be a great player himself, too. So I feel like we got a great roster. They built the best O-line they can build. And I think, we just got to continue to work. Like I said, work every day, get better. Every day ain't going to be perfect. Going to be ups and downs. We just got to steadily keep climbing. And when week 1 comes, we're going to put it all together.
Speaking of year 6, you when you first came here, went to the playoffs, then you went through kind of the dark period. Is there like an appreciation or something, the fact that you're getting closer to back? Like, because you're a rookie, you have success, you're close to getting to the AFC Championship game, and then it kind of goes away, and now it kind of seems like that's bad. Is there like an appreciation for that?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the game every day, win or lose, because, it's a privilege to be, in this position I am. But, I'm happy to be a part of a team that's winning, happy to have coaches that are building a winning.
How is this the same guy as the guy online? Like, it's kind of actually pretty hilarious to me.
Culture. So every day, man, the mindset is that I can't let my guys down because everybody's depending on me, and we all depend on each other. And just the camaraderie around the building, all the leaders on the team, and it starts with the quarterback. We built something special around here, and it starts from the head coach, QB, and down to all the practice squad guys, players. Everybody's holding each other accountable, going hard every day to make each other better.
What's like working with Stefon Diggs? You saw a couple of catches from him too in the red zone today.
Stefon's a dog. But the biggest thing about Stefon is that he's a good guy. I mean, everybody say all this stuff about him. He's a diva. I haven't seen it. I mean, in the locker room, on the field, pep talks when we in the huddle. He's a great dude, and he back it up when he get on the field. I mean, he's a great player, so I'm excited to have him part of the team.
What you've seen this year from DP, how he's kind of, re-energized himself.
DP is DPing. DP is one of the most talented running backs I played with, and I think this year is like probably one of the most. It's probably the most explosive I've seen him, even more than his rookie year. He looks faster. He's leaner. He still, can run the ball really hard, but I think he's in a great spot too. With him and Joe Mixon back there, man, we got to do up front. Them boys gonna run the rock for sure.
We'll close with Cody. What was been your early impression of Daniil Hunter, and what can you kind of learn from him in some of these practices?
Daniil's a great player. The best thing I can say about Daniil is that going against him so far in practice, man, he's very, unpredictable. So he has an unorthodox type of rush, and that you can't prepare yourself. You can't just be, I'm going to do this every single play. Nah, you got to change up and be ready for something different every time you play him. And I think that is the biggest thing that I like about going against him, because he prepares you for so much more and help you out getting ready for the game. Because, he's one of the best rushers in the league. We know that. But, he plays hard. Him and Will both, man. Will's got a whole lot better, too. And, man, it's a dogfight every day with those boys, man. And we only going to make each other better.
Appreciate it, Tytus.
Yeah.
There you go. Tytus Howard right there. Man, joy to talk to him. Easy to root for sure. I'm just going to go through here real quick. I think we got Dom in Jersey on the line for sure. The line is open. It's pinned up there. If you want to get in, just click the link, come through. If you don't want to, just keep rolling with me. Let's recap Tytus Howard's optimism though real quick. So he said Shaq is the best player that he's ever played beside. Probably true. I think if we look at the Texans offensive line, that's probably true. So I'll give him a thumbs up on that optimism. Kenyon Green has put it all together. We'll see. But he said that. Admitted that he hasn't been able to stay on the field. He's going to play great. Hope so. It's good that he acknowledges that, though. He says the depth is high. This is one of his deeper teams. I would agree with that. They built the best offensive line they could build. They're going to put it all together. Hope so. He said DP is DPing. I don't know what the hell that means, to be honest with you. He is one of the most talented backs I've played with. He looks more explosive. I would agree that he looks more explosive. He says them boys are going to run the rock. I sure hope so. They're going to need to run the ball a little bit better. And then he said Hunter is one of the best rushers in the league. So that was Tytus Howard. We'll hear from Jalen Pitre in a sec. Let's go to Jersey, though. Talk to Dom from Jersey. Dom, how we feeling,
What's
dude?
up, man? Can you hear me?
I got you, dude.
Dude, I wasn't kidding. I'm nervous. This is harder than just talking to you on the phone.
Yeah. How you feeling about camp right now, brother?
Oh, dude. Like, it's disgusting. My fiance is, like, sick of it already. I've got you on YouTube every day, the show going. I'm on Twitter all day long. I mean, I can't get enough of it. But I wanted to point out, you brought up a good point. Tytus Howard, he's nothing like what he is on Twitter, because I'll be honest with you, I can't stand him on Twitter. So it's nice. It's like refreshing to hear the way he actually is.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys who they like a lot, and I think we'll hear from Pitre in a sec too, who has a lot to prove. And Petry's kind of one of those guys that they like a lot. And when you hear him talk, it's like, okay, I can see why. The one that I was the most impressed with, because I've heard Tytus talk and I've heard Pitre talk, and I decided this was like a separate video tomorrow morning. But Kamari Lassiter is an impressive dude, man. Like, he is a no nonsense, well beyond his years type of dude. And the thing about him that I like the most, or I guess the most pleasant surprise, is he's been with the ones. Like, it hasn't really been like some sort of, hey, get in where you fit in. He's been out there with the ones the whole time, outside, inside, wherever. Pretty good.
Which is awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, obviously we have Derek Stingley, and after that I was concerned about which direction we're headed. But obviously it's early to say about Lassiter, but I love what I'm hearing about him. I think they asked him a question about his speed or something today, and he had a really good comment. He said, like, he could keep up with anybody. He plays his game, so he's not worried about that because his 40 was low. But I'm excited about him. Who do you think CB3 right now? I mean, you've been out there, not
Okudah.
like the other frauds.
I would say Okudah. I would say as of now, Okudah.
Okay.
And he looks good. I really haven't noticed Henderson, if I'm being completely honest, but I would say Okudah. He had the interception the other day that Ford tipped up. It was pretty good. He seems to be pretty confident, but you never know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see when we get like some other stuff going on. To be honest, I'm kind of gravitating towards Diggs, and I've been watching a lot of Diggs. He's kind of been, I mean, it's been pretty phenomenal watching Diggs. It's not even, I know people can make guesses and stuff, and I'm not like talking down on it, but it's not even close who wide receiver one is, like, just based on what we've seen the first 5 days. Like, that might not mean a damn thing, but it's not even close. Like, it's not even
I'm obviously not there, but like, I thought it was crazy that we were having that discussion prior to camp opening. I mean, he's unreal, the guy. He's still got plenty of football left in him, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from him, with Mechie, with Tank. While I bring up Mechie, though, my question for you is, should we be concerned that they continue to bring in receiver competition? Because I kind of was high on Mechie coming into the season, and now I don't know how to feel.
He had his best practice, I would say 2 practices ago. He had his best. He looks okay. Like, I mean, he doesn't look better than Noah Brown. He's probably had a little bit better camp than Robert Woods, but I don't know that they really try to include Robert Woods that much. I think they just like Robert Woods is just kind of like Old Faithful, that he'll be there whenever they want. But I mean, he's been wide receiver 5 at best. And he's not going to play special teams, although they had him on like the hands team type of drill that they do. But yeah, he's not going to play special teams, which I don't know whether it matters or not. I know Brevin Jordan's going to play special teams, which I think is an interesting thing when we talk about tight ends. He's going to be covering kicks, but Mechie's not playing special teams. That's for sure.
I just want to recap on last year, because obviously I came down there. You were generous enough to hook it up big time. I was down there for the home opener last year. So when you look at training camp last year, we didn't know who was going to be the quarterback of this team. You kept hearing iffy things about CJ. Then that game against New England, the preseason game, he throws that duck. Come on, we were all nervous after we saw that. Let's be real.
Yeah, but first pat, like one of his first few passes.
Landry, I don't know if you remember this. Before that Colts game, I woke up Sunday morning at like 6 a.m., getting ready to rock. And all of a sudden they were talking about maybe not playing CJ because Tunsil was hurt. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and Andre Ware actually said it, and I saw Andre today. Shout out to Andre Ware, Suns out, guns out. My man's looking pretty damn good. But he was one of the guys that said they shouldn't play him. And I mean, there were a lot of people that were saying it, but I actually think, like, when we go back and look at CJ, I actually thought that was where he gained the respect of the locker room. And I don't know, there's not usually, like, whenever you say, okay, this is the guy, and this is when it became his football team, he's like leading a game-winning drive or something like that, or there's some sort of comeback. But I actually thought in the losing effort where his shoulder was hurt, he ended up on the injury report. I guess they said he got there. Hell, if you were up at 6, the legend was that he had been up there since 4, getting ready to go. He got roughed up. Hell, the last play of the game, I was pissed off at Slowick because it was a 2-possession game, and DeForest Buckner just flings his ass to the ground and looked like he almost landed on his shoulder. So I was ticked off at Slowick. But I actually think that when he went up there at the podium and he was like, basically, if I can play, I'm going to play my guys. And then he even praised the offensive line and their efforts. I thought that was when he kind of established himself as the dude. And I think that was kind of where the team started buying in, because that's where the next week they went and just beat the living crap out of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And then they had the Pittsburgh win the next week. So I actually think that game was where the legend, at least to me, the legend of CJ Stroud was born.
Absolutely. And going back on that, I mean, that was a totally different team week 2 than it was to maybe, like, let's talk like the Pittsburgh game. You're right. I think that was a good point you made, that the turning point was the team buying into Stroud. And so I think we were all, we didn't know how to feel 100% about him because of the
because you're used to diva-like activities. And I mean, hell, Andre Ware saying, hey, man, you're not going to have Tunsil. You're not going to have your tackles. Don't go out there. He goes out there and battles. I don't think he played like great in that game. The stats ended up, there was a little bit of mop up. They kind of went down early. I do wonder what would have happened had Richardson not gotten hurt, because they had cut it to 7, and then Minshew just kind of dissected him a little bit.
He was kind of cooking us early in that game, though, if you remember.
For sure, yeah.
We couldn't stop the run. I don't think we were, like, prepared for him. I think I called your old sports radio show a little upset the next day, maybe made some crazy statements. But
we all did.
Yeah. No, listen, it's unbelievable. I think it's crazy because I live obviously in New Jersey. The amount of hate I'm getting now being a Texans fan, it used to kind of just be like no one cared. And now I hear it every
you just
day.
dismissed.
Yeah, and now we're, 6 primetime games this year. Like in the past, it was easier to kind of hide because if the team wasn't doing that well, I didn't really have to hear from anybody. But we're going to be in the spotlight all year, and, you got to love it and hate it at the same time.
No doubt, man. Well, I'll appreciate you for calling down. Are you on maternity leave? Is there like
no,
a maternity
dude, I'm
leave
back.
thing?
Yeah, I got 2 weeks off. I'm back though, back at work. Speaking of, I got to work because have you seen ticket prices this year?
Yeah, they're high. They're high.
Bro.
That's what happens when you sell out, brother.
So I'm obviously coming down to that Lions game. I also wanted to show you I came correct here.
Okay,
with
I
the
see
new
you.
gear. So I came
Okay.
correct. Yeah, I'll be down there for the Lions game. I spoke to Stoots. I was hoping maybe we can get a little happy hour going. Maybe you guys could tweet that out. We'll meet up with a bunch of people.
We'll get a gathering. No, we'll get a gathering because that's going to be
We'll
a
have
fun
a time.
one, man. That's gonna be a fun
Absolutely.
one. Yeah,
Sunday
we'll
night
get that.
football,
No doubt.
so we'll rock it out.
100%.
But Landry, I appreciate it.
All right.
I'll be watching though. We'll talk soon, bro.
All right, man. All right.
Thanks,
Tell the
man.
missus and the baby hello, man.
Will do. Thank you, bro.
My boy Dom in Jersey out there. Texans. He's been representing for a few years now. At least since I know. He's been a Texans fan for a while, but this isn't. I think the Texans are perhaps the most bandwagon friendly squad right now. But Dom's been representing. He's representing with a little bit of pride because the New York squads might have a little bit of problems up there. My other thing with in regards to the vibes, the season ticket news, which I think should be the bare minimum at some point. I know how bad it was, and that's good that they're back to selling out games. I think it's just as impressive that you got people showing up at 5, 6 a.m. to watch them practice on a Tuesday when there's bad weather. I think that's just as impressive as the season tickets. The season tickets was going to happen for sure. So I think that's just as impressive if you ask me, for sure. I'm extremely impressed with that. Let's hear from Jalen Pitre. Tytus Howard, I want you to tell how optimistic are you? Do you think Tytus Howard, I'm going to ask this question here. Do you think Tytus Howard will reward the optimism and faith that this front office has shown in him? They gave him an extension before they needed to, and he's one of the higher paid right tackles in football. Do you think Tytus Howard, let's just say this year, we don't have to predict the future. We're playing checkers here. We'll crawl before we walk. We'll enjoy this a little bit. We'll smell the coffee. Do you think that Tytus Howard will reward the coaching staff and the organization for their faith in him? Let me know. Let's hear from Jalen Pitre, though. We'll get to the Tytus Howard questions in a sec. Let's hear from Jalen Pitre, though. This is a guy who D'Amico Ryan shouted out at his press conference. This is a guy who they're using perhaps a little bit different right now. They got him lining up a lot in the nickel. Let's hear from Jalen Pitre. Let's hear what he's got to say. I got to ask him about last year. Obviously disappointing. What did he take away from it? Here's Jalen Pitre at the podium, one of D'Amico Ryan's favorites.
I'm blessed. Happy to be out here again.
Talk to us a little bit about moving around a lot more than maybe you did last year. How you like that, some of the challenges doing that?
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's been fun to play some nickel here in training camp and OTAs, and you know, I'm all in it on the process. Whatever Coach D'Amico and his staff wants me to do, you know, I'm ready to try to go out there and execute and make plays for this team.
What's been the biggest impediment to playing some nickel?
It's all about, like I said, execution. You know, every nickel is similar. I played nickel in college, so I kind of understand the position. And through the years with the Texans, I've been studying, you know, how D'Amico wants to play, how he wants our nickel to play. So, you know, it's just understanding the position and the techniques that he wants us to work. And, you know, just honing in on that every day and just trying to stack them and get better.
Jalen, you kind of talked about
Stack good days.
So there's some similarities between what are the biggest differences from what you saw in Dave's defense and Pitter's defense?
That's a good question. It's a lot of similarities, more similarities than differences. I would say I mean, you can go coverage to coverage. That's a good question, though. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. It's a lot of similarities, though, for sure.
Hey, Jalen, how would you describe the intensity when you guys finally get to go offense against defense a little bit? Damien said thuds over because you guys took him to the ground a couple of times. So,
yeah.
So what's it supposed to be, and how intense does that get?
Yeah. It's definitely supposed to be thuds. So we're supposed to, you know, wrap up Damien and keep him up. But I think those competitive juices get to flying, and, you know, things, you know, happen here or there. But, you know, we want to keep our teammates up because we need them healthy when the season comes. But like I said, when we out there and it's 100-something degrees, you know, the humidity, you know, you're ready to go and you're ready to hit somebody. So it's a little harder to keep them up, but that's the strain Coach talks about. You know, you got to do everything right. And so we're working to that.
What are the biggest things you ain't never had season like that perhaps will make you a better player moving forward? Were there any lessons as you that perhaps will make you a better?
This is the question about learning last year to this year. And I want you guys to let me know, are any of you in Houston and free for tomorrow morning? Are any of you in Houston and free for tomorrow morning? There's something going on. Let me know if you are.
Like that perhaps will make you a better player moving forward. Were there any lessons as you reflect that you take and you say this can make you way better moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's just owning the situation and how it comes. You know, everything might not go your way, whether that's a play, whether that's a day, you know, in your life. And you got to just keep pushing and keep finding ways to get better. I think that's what I'm trying to do, trying to stay positive with my teammates and try to be a, you know, uplifting role model to them because, you know, like I said, these days are hard for us and they are long. So, you know, I'm just trying to be that, you know, that peaceful guy in the locker room, somebody that you could just come to and just chop it up with and, you know, uplift the spirit of the whole, you know, team.
Last year you had Jimmy who knew this defense. This year you had Aziz who knows this defense. Can you see how that's impacted things?
Oh, for sure. You know, Aziz is a true pro, a guy that's really locked in, a guy that's not, you know, letting nothing slide. You know, today in practice, he got on me because I had made a check real quick that was wrong. So I think that leadership and that accountability is gonna do nothing but uplift his team. And I'm glad that he's on my team because he definitely makes me better on and off the field too. It's a lot of things that we do off the field. We got a little horse game going to see who got a better shot. And I'm gonna be honest, he's up right now, but like I said, it's always tomorrow to get back at him.
He plays on the opposing side of the field, but just really impressive to Stefon Diggs, what he means to the locker room, and also how he's fitting with the culture.
Yeah, he's a true leader. I think on and off the field. He's came to me. I work with him a lot in the slot, and he's came to me and just tried to give me a couple pointers here and there. And I think the biggest thing is his competitive nature is high. Like he's going out every play trying to win, and that does nothing but uplift other competitors. Because when I'm out there, I don't care who it is. Like I'm trying to win as well. So that's not gonna do nothing but help get this team even better.
In regards to his competitive nature, do you have any examples of that really shining through in practice?
Yeah, I'm not gonna give up my little 1-2 that he gave me, but yeah, it's all about disguising and not letting the other guy know what you're doing. It's a chess game, and it's a visual game as well. So showing one thing and doing another, showing one thing and doing that. Just playing that game with the other person on the other side, and making it a mind thing, not much more of a physical thing. I think that's the next step that Steph is always talking about. So, yeah.
Did you do anything different this offseason as you approached getting ready for this year? Did you change anything?
Yeah, I took a break.
This is deep
from
right
football
here.
for a little bit. Relaxed, breathed a little bit. Got away from the game, and I think that put things into perspective for me. It helped me to understand that my job is important, very important. But it's not everything, I tried to get closer to God, diving into the scriptures daily. And I think that has done nothing but help me with my patience, help me with my loyalty to others. Like all of these things that I want to do in my life and in football is something that I'm just trying to continue to focus on. Yep.
All right, there you go. That's Jalen Pitre, man. Some good stuff, man. A lot of spiritual journeys this offseason. I'm not saying. Will Anderson, Jalen Pitre, all of them. It kind of seems to be a little bit synchronized. Someone said that someone needs to establish themselves as the alpha in a second. I think they got plenty of alphas. They're just a few men of few words. Kamari Lassiter is all about that business. By the way, some news out of Philadelphia in regards to someone that we were talking about, perhaps the Texans taking instead of Kamari Lassiter. Cooper DeJean is going to start on the non-football injury list to start camp. He's got a hamstring injury. So Kamari Lassiter has been out there the whole time with the first team. Cooper DeJean, who had some injury problems at Iowa. He's going to start on the non-football injury list. 5 a.m., by the way, breakdown of Kamari Lassiter and some of the cool stuff that he had to say during his press conference. The man who asked him if he was going to be able to keep his nickname, Cody Stoots, joins me right now. Cody, what's up, man? I think he gets to keep his nickname.
Well, it's a self-appointed nickname, so you never know, if the league wants him to keep it or he has to re-earn the nickname. He hadn't locked down anybody in the NFL yet, so I thought it was a good question.
I thought it was a good one too.
Maybe I should have referenced history that was 9 months ago.
Oh, the viral quote, yeah, that talks about his character. Yeah, I would say that would have been a smart move by you.
Yeah. Well, I think self-appointed nicknames tells you about your character too.
So you have a little something for people here, and I asked the question, and I'll get to some of your questions. They're being marked for sure. Who is free and who is in Houston tomorrow? Because I understand that you have some. I gave away 2 pairs yesterday on the Facebook group. Locker Room on YouTube Facebook group. There were a couple pairs came up from people. What are you carrying, man?
Yeah, I came across a pair of training camp tickets for tomorrow's training camp, the Wednesday training camp. So, if you're local, you hadn't been to training camp yet, you want to go, you couldn't get tickets, they were a hard ticket to come by. I'll let you figure out, who in the chat. This is your channel, so I'll let you figure out. I saw a couple people. I saw Bubba's Eats, which is fantastic name. He said he was around, but whoever's around, I got a pair of tickets, send it to them. It's just a little Ticketmaster transfer. It goes right to your phone, and you can go, park it up at 7, walk in at 8, and practice at 9, baby.
Yeah, whoever wants to, just message Cody Stoots on Twitter or something like that. The first one right now to message Cody Stoots on Twitter.
So message me on Twitter at Cody_Stoots. Send me a DM there or send me an email, CodyStoots@gmail.com. And whoever wins the race, they will find themselves with an opportunity to go to training camp tomorrow morning.
On your mark, get set, go.
Go.
It's,
fire away.
Clowny type of stuff. Do you have any sweeping takeaways from today? I know that you summarized it a little bit. You were pretty deep in the stream. Anything that maybe that nobody's talking about? Let's not rehash. We've been rehashing. Is there anything that maybe just look back and say, man, I didn't bring this up? Anything that nobody's talking about?
A couple of back of the depth chart defensive tackle guys were really physical. McTelvin Agam, who was a 2020 draft pick out of Arkansas, he's bounced around a little bit. Texans added him before the season ended last year. And then Marcus Harris, the rookie draft pick this year for the Texans out of Auburn, late in the draft. I thought they had some really nice, late in practice moments. Marcus Harris, he's not a big guy, Landry. You've seen him a couple of times. He wears D'Amico's number, 59. He's not a big guy. He had 2 offensive linemen, one on each arm, just posted up, and he started walking them backwards. And I was like, okay, I didn't know he had that in him. And McTelvin Agam was, making some noise along the defensive line, and it's a wide open defensive tackle room. You could tell me just about any combination of those guys is going to be, the 4 or 5 defensive tackles they keep. So I'm excited to watch those guys a little bit more.
Yeah, my nobody's talking about, and this one kind of flashed before my eyes. I've been mentioning it, kind of like parts of it, and it's a 5-day sample size. So who the hell knows whether this is a big deal or not? Who knows if this holds up? Who knows if there's even anything to be worried about? But I'm watching special teams drill between Team 1 and Team 2, and it's the first time that we've seen Fairbairn kick. And he was 5 of 6. The only one that he missed was a 52-yarder that hit the right post, just kind of nicked it. Mm-hmm. And then he kicked it from 60, and it probably would have been good from 64, 65 or whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking back to the Matt Amendola experience and how stressful that was. I know you won the game in Cincinnati, but it was stressful. There's a reason that Fairbairn is one of the highest paid kickers in the league. And there's a reason why the Detroit Lions didn't make the Super Bowl last year. You could point to the kicking position. So it can cost you, it can cost you reaching your ultimate goals.
Yep.
I don't know that they have an alternative for kickoff. And I just, with someone who's been kind of dinged up as much as Fairbairn, and just the sheer possibility of a kicker trying to make a tackle in the open field against a world-class athlete, I don't like it. Now, maybe that means they just decide to kick it out of the damn end zone and just give the ball at the 30 and not F with it, and I would be okay with it. But I do not want to go any more Sundays, Thursdays, Monday nights, Christmas days without Ka'imi Fairbairn kicking field goals. And it does not seem like there's even another alternative at the moment, or at least we haven't seen anyone up to this point kick off.
I'm leaning a lot closer to you, man. I got to see it in practice a couple times, like I say in practice, but actually executed in a game just to kind of see. But we're going to be 2 pissed off individuals if we're sitting there on a Sunday and a crappy kick by Ka'imi gave somebody good field position, or a crappy kick by Ka'imi gave somebody a really good special teams return and transformed or changed a game. Special teams might be how a crappy team sticks around in a game, because sometimes they've got hidden guys or unknown guys or unscouted guys hiding around on special teams. And next thing you know, you have, you're up, 17, and you get a special teams return allowed, and then they got a little momentum. They're feeling themselves. You should have been putting them away, and instead they're right back in the game. Don't screw around with it. If they can't do it at an excellent level, don't screw around with it. Kick it and leave it to D'Amico Burke of the defense.
Someone asked me, like, what does CJ Henderson look like? And I was like, I didn't want to fake it. Like, I don't want to, if I don't see it, I don't fake it. Like, if I didn't go to training camp, I wouldn't try to break down like guys that I like in camp. That would be weird. And if I'm there and I don't notice it, I'm not just going to make it up. I haven't seen much from him.
Well, he didn't practice today. He was working out on the side field.
Even before, I didn't see anything. He was the one hopping around that you were
yeah.
You were pointing to. Okay.
It took me a while to figure out who he was.
But even when he was out there, I didn't notice him.
He in my opinion, off of the mini camps and OTAs that we got to see, he began training camp ahead of Jeff Okudah, and that quickly erased. I mean, Okudah's made a play here or there, but I can't tell you one thing that CJ Henderson's done in training camp besides be on the workout field today over on the side. So
that was the most active I've seen him, honestly. That was the most that he stuck out to me, and I didn't even recognize him.
He got a lot of work to do if he wants to make this roster.
Oh yeah, I think he's fighting to make the roster. Dominic in Jersey was on. He asked me who's CB3. I think it's Okudah. I don't even know if that's. I mean, maybe there's some back end guys that will surprise, but Lassiter is CB2, and then we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's Lassiter, and then I mean, I don't know what they're going to do at slot. Like I can't for sure tell you that Desmond King's going to be the slot cornerback.
I think he's your main return guy. I'm starting to be convinced that he's your main return guy. And my God, what a spatted up individual that guy is. I don't know what he did, but he was the only player, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that had the blue shirt under his jersey. He had the blue cleats on. He had the jersey rolled up to where you could see the blue shirt, and he had the sleeves cut off the blue shirt. So Desmond King must have walked in the locker room and said, "Oh, let me get one of those blue shirts," cut the sleeves off, had the blue cleats just laying around, like the H-Town blue or whatever the hell it is cleats, had that showing, and was just spatted up and ready to go.
I mean, it look good, play good, practice good, play good, I guess, too. So
yeah. I don't know what King does. Him and Sims, maybe. The wide receiver thing is interesting too with the Mechie situation. Mechie's he was out today. I don't know whether it was a veteran off day or whether he's nicked up. I have no idea. Nico Collins, I think Nico's back tomorrow. He was pretty active on the side. He just had a real active practice yesterday, and I'm sure that there was some sort of like GPS data that said whatever, but he was really, really active. But the Mech thing, I guess we'll keep an eye on it.
Did you tell everybody what Nico was wearing?
He was wearing like his own jersey.
He was wearing his own jersey. I had never seen that before. Like sometimes when guys don't practice, they'll wear their jersey out with no pads and just kind of sit over. Nico was wearing his own T-shirt jersey, which I was just it made me laugh. It made me laugh. I was like, that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I just can't believe I just can't believe how clean Desmond King is with that shirt. Just going out there, not even trying to go through the motions, just trying to look like a dang.
And like you said, it accomplished it in short order too, because they probably didn't have a lot of time from arrival to hey, here's the promo shirts to let's go.
But why you rocking a jersey though? Isn't that kind of nuts?
That means either Nico told them to go.
I mean, he made the jersey look all right. How do you feel about the jersey? You just get a nice shirt, right? Like you just get a dry fit because jerseys are like 40 and you can get like a nice dry fit long or short sleeve like Nike for around that price. So the jersey, like in baseball, I get it because you don't want to pay $200 for the jersey.
Yeah.
But in football, like the jersey, it's like just get a nice ass hoodie or something like that. It's going to cost the same.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the Cap D'Amico though.
If you knew you didn't want to spend on a jersey, but you wanted to have like a bunch of different players to wear to a bunch of different things, like the jersey's the way to go. It's more cost efficient.
But what about just a tee of a player? There's some sick
like the graphic tees like that we've seen with like
Yeah, like those types of things.
That's not a bad investment either. That's
The jersey.
I mean, like Stroud's not going anywhere, Anderson's not going anywhere, Nico's not going anywhere.
No, you got the investment, and that's been the problem with the Texans jerseys. Like you didn't know how long they were going to be there or whatever, so you gotta figure it out. But right now, I mean, there's decisions. I haven't even seen the team shop. I don't know. Like, I wonder how many players' jerseys they might have probably like 12 guys' jerseys available at the shop.
Man, I was in there a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I think there's at least 8 guys in there. You know, Dell, Nico, because they had only a handful on launch, but they've added more. Hunter.
I ain't sleeping on that, Chad. I promise you that, man. Remember when Ross back in the day, you could get like some sick ass jerseys for $7. Like you could get some nasty. Now they're kind of up to like the 19, but shoot, my mom used to keep me entertained by saying, go look at the jerseys or whatever. Sometimes she'd say yes, sometimes she'd say no. But Ross back in the day, if I could go back in time and get those old champion jerseys that they used to have at Ross, no, don't sleep on that at all.
Yeah. The Ross has had less and less fat guy stuff recently. I don't know what their deal is.
Yeah, well, Ross is kind of hit or miss. You probably got to go to TJ Maxx if you want to be a chub. Brandon Simpson wants to talk. He's always got to smoke. He's always in the garage. He's always got to light a heater / cancer stick whenever he gets on.
Got to, right? I mean,
what up, man?
It seals the deal. How y'all doing?
We're hanging.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show myself, right? So I know training camp's interesting. Y'all are having a blast, aren't y'all?
We are.
Oh, yeah.
We are.
I know I would. Look at it. So Diggs is obviously just like he's number one. You can just see it just watching him, right?
Yep.
That's what I've heard. Like just watching him practice, it's like obvious. Like, okay, that's the dude.
I mean, he has been in practice for sure. Yeah. No doubt.
Okay, so to me the most interesting is the defense, and it is interesting watching Miko put Pitre at nickel and trying to play him down there in slot too.
Yeah, I'm interested by it. I don't know what this looks like in a game. Like it's cool. It's not a bad idea. I'd like. Are they gonna like in 3rd and 8? Are they gonna put him on like the other team's slot guy? I don't know how far this is gonna go.
I don't think it's a standard operating procedure for him on defense, but I think it's like something they'll try on defense from time to time. Like, I think that's kind of the approach with Pitre, covering slot guys.
A little sub package or something.
Yeah.
Something
so
like that.
The Desmond King Mims aspect too. I mean, who would they value more? I mean, like you said, Metch and Hutchinson, right? They're basically they're on watch because I mean with our Sims, because with the rule changes, I think it does value Sims more.
Yeah, Sim seems to be the guy they like most at return with King. So that'll be interesting to see, man. My man's just blowing them heaters. You probably have the butts all around the garage too, don't you?
No. So look,
are they stacked up in the ashtray? I gotta see. I always gotta see this. Look at that. Look at this guy.
Look, there's like 6 cigarette butts and a big fat blunt in it, right? It's actually a pink rose petal one too.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
yeah.
I can see you there.
That's a good thing.
Okay, there you go.
That's it.
All right, B Simp. I'll holler at you, man.
All right, G.
That's my guy right there. B Simp doing his thing, living his life. Yeah, the Sims thing's going to be interesting. The return at even like as a receiver, I don't know. And then Skoranek, that was a touchdown. Did they end up calling that a touchdown? Did they call it a drop? What was the official ruling there? I didn't see the ref put his hands up. I didn't see him say it was a fumble. He motioned to the right. Boyle was at quarterback, went across the field. Pretty nice play, but there was a lot of confusion as to whether it was a fumble, whether it was a catch, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to say catch. I would say catch because, I mean, once you're down 2 feet with your 2 hands on it, I mean, play's over. It doesn't matter if they knock it out of your hand.
Yeah, I think if they would have looked at it, it probably would have been a TD, but yeah, that's what that is. The Sims thing will be interesting. And then we were talking about the McNairs. They talked about the roof. I didn't go in there and really listen to what they were talking about. It kind of got a little bit crowded. Boy, if the McNairs go in a tent and there's a lot of local TV there, man, it is going to be crowded.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting news. I really didn't understand what exactly it means, though.
It apparently that strip that's messed up may not be fixed until a little bit into the season. So
Yeah, he said Cal said something very relatable. He was like, "Yeah, the parts are hard to get."
especially for that, I can imagine
Yeah.
the parts are real. You can't go to Home Depot and fix NRG Stadium.
Yeah, that's crazy. Daniel asks, "How's Pitre looking at nickel?"
It's not
guess-
not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah, he's fine. Do you think Schultz is a lock for tight end 1? I do.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tunsil being 71 in the top 100 NFL top 100? I don't know. Like I don't get in the business. I watch every snap of 5 offensive linemen all year, and if they play well, they play well. But I've always the most fascinating argument or people inserting themselves in certain arguments for me has been Laramie Tunsil should be all pro. Oh my God, he got screwed over all pro. I'm not watching 32 offensive tackles. Yeah. I'm not doing that. So maybe there's a lot more people around here that are watching left tackle tape. I'm not one of those guys. So 71, I guess that's good. He's a really, really good left tackle. The run blocking sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired. He played hurt last year, but I don't have like a hot take on it.
I mean, it's hard to tell you what I think about him being on the list until I see who's ahead of him. Like if they put some guy that I feel like isn't better than him ahead of him, then like, okay, maybe I care a little bit more. But ultimately, until the list is done and I see where everything is, it's hard for me to tell you, oh, he's too high, too low. I mean, if it makes him practice tomorrow, then it's perfect. It's great. Like,
all right. So Jacob, I always appreciate you coming through. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Can you sell me on Eric Murray as a starting safety? Okay. I've gotten to where I like Eric Murray a lot, and he used to really disgust me because of the contract that Jack and Bill gave him. This is how I can sell you with Eric Murray as a starting safety, if needed. If one of the safeties is hurt, then I think Eric Murray can do a nice job filling in. If you tell me you're going into the season and Eric Murray is your starting safety, I first of all, I think you're taking away from the value of what Eric Murray brings as a football player because he can do a lot of extra things. And second of all, I just don't think that that's an ideal situation. But as far as being a backup safety that may have to start a couple of games or when desperate times call for desperate measures, that's as far as I can go with my recent admiration for Eric Murray. That's as far as I can go as far as selling him as a guy who's going to start on your football team.
It's a tough sell to be a starter. I mean, he filled in admirably a couple times when guys were banged up early on in the season last year, but that's not a long-term solution. I mean, if he had to start a little bit for you, because again, I think Pitre at covering corners, covering wide receivers in the slot, I think that's going to not be an all the time thing. But Murray on the field a little bit, it's fine. Murray on the field a lot of bit, not as good. Not as good.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And this question's going to come up. There's a few people say this. I think Houston Stressens brings up a good point. We missed Murray. Yeah, I mean, you lost Murray and then you lost the other backup safety on like the next play.
MJ
so like
Stewart.
As much as we talk about what Pitre had to do, and I think it was a very disappointing year. I don't know if Jalen Pitre's a quality or elite starting safety. I think he's going to be in the NFL for 10 years, 12 years, whatever, in some way, shape, or form. So I think he's going to find a career for himself no matter what. But he was asked, I mean, that was a hell of a lot to ask. The Justin Simmons question is always going to come up whenever we talk about this. Do you think he's still an option? Sure. I mean, Nick Caserio randomly mentioned Yannick Ngakoue the other day. So yeah, I do think that they're looking at things. I think eventually Simmons is going to make his decision. I don't think Simmons is going to go play in freaking, I don't know, name the crappiest team in the NFL. Like, I don't think that Justin Simmons is going to play somewhere bad. So maybe he's an option. I don't know.
look,
I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't completely dismiss it.
I know the Texans are in the second week of training camp. Most teams haven't got the training camp just yet. So Simmons isn't close to signing if he doesn't want to play in training camp. So this is like a month away before he even makes a decision if he doesn't want to play in training camp, if that's indeed something that is important to him.
Do you see a future for Bolick or him starting sooner rather than later? Yeah, I see a future. I mean, what do you mean? Like, yeah, of course.
It would be pretty bleak if the third round pick didn't have a future.
No, let's cut his ass. No, I'm just kidding. And then I get what you're saying. I don't know about starting sooner rather than later. There's been nothing to lead me to have like a hot take one way or another. He's been there around. And he had the near interception of Mills in day, was that 4? Yeah, day 4.
Yeah, almost. Dropped it.
Yeah, dropped it. Did everything else well. So yeah, I think he's nice. H and Rob say only place they can get Texans content being in California. Well, we got you covered. Do you think that Danico Autry will have position DE3 or DT1 with all these DTs playing well in training camp? I don't know. Like of all the guys that I just heard all this praise for, like I haven't. And I'm not in the trenches as much of a lot of guys. I haven't really like just seen like a wow moment with Danico Autry. And I'll be honest, it might take a little more for me to see that than someone like say Seth Payne or even you, who likes to focus on that area a little bit more. But I haven't seen it. I've seen it from Settle. I've seen some. I've seen it from Will Anderson. I've seen it from Daniil Hunter. Haven't really seen it from Autry.
Autry's on the milk carton team, man. He's on the milk carton team. Hadn't seen him. Haven't noticed him yet. I mean, I noticed him for the first time in the 4th practice, and he was playing defensive tackle,
which is never like a huge deal. Like no. It's not. I think his roster spot is safe, so it's not. He's
not going to start a defensive tackle. He may be out there in passing situations at defensive tackle, but he's not going to start a defensive tackle.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do think that they like the versatility. Where is Tank Dell been? We haven't heard much about him from y'all. I know he's probably doing fine. I'm just curious. I think I'm just kind of too busy lusting over Stefon Diggs. Tank's been fine. I mean, Tank's made some plays here and there. It almost feels like CJ's focused on getting on the same page with Diggs. I think he knows, especially when plays break down. And they don't necessarily break down in camp. CJ's doing like he's getting rid of it more. But when plays start to break down and we start to, I think Tank Dell's going to be fine. He hasn't been bad. I think I'm just admittedly just lusting over watching Stefon Diggs out there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Tank showing up. Tank's gonna show up plenty.
Do you think Nico practices with pads tomorrow? Maybe. I mean, I don't think he's hurt. I think it was a vet day, much like we saw with Dalton Schultz today. So I would think so, but the Joe Mixon situation was interesting. And here's Dominic right on cue asking, should we be concerned about Mixon? I don't think so. I wouldn't be too concerned about him.
No, not worried about it.
Howard is finally going to play his actual position. I think he's looked fine when he's played right tackle. He's seeing elite DNs in practice. He should be prepared. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a right tackle. The guard stuff, I know it frustrated a hell of a lot of people. So I understand that. Yeah, they've had Tank returning punts the whole time. He's been in the return line along with Des King and other guys. And he's actually been in the kick return line as well. So yeah, that's nothing new. He's been doing that the whole time. Justin got Mahomes' number, or at least that's what we're told.
Oh, Justin Simmons?
Yeah.
Nobody's got Mahomes' number.
What do you mean? You're talking about like they're saying that he like owns Patrick Mahomes because he has like the most interceptions against him or whatever.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes isn't worried about Justin Simmons.
Yeah, I don't think so. Was there a Quitoriano sighting today? There was a Cade Stover. There was a Cade Stover for sure. There's a Cade Stover touchdown.
Quitoriano had one too.
Yeah, I look away during that. That was
it was Tim Boyle throwing it to him.
Yeah, Tim Boyle is a water break for me.
Yeah. But yeah, he caught it on the sideline and tiptoed down the sideline and stuck it in for a touchdown. And
I saw him tiptoe on the sideline on 1 and go out of bounds at the 5.
The DB was like, he was out of bounds, and the official just looked at him and was like, touchdown. Okay, all right, sure.
I love the refs at practice, man.
Yeah, they're college refs, so like I think there's like a little bit more. I'll tell you who works on the refs a ton is Casario. He's like always in one of those guys' ears, like pointing and
so does CJ.
Yeah.
So does Hannah McNair.
Well, she's working on the refs. I didn't see that.
Oh, she's always talking to the damn refs before practice, man. I don't know what the hell she's trying to do. I mean, she's just being friendly and stuff, but she's probably talking smack. She likes to talk crap, man.
Yeah.
In a fun way.
All right, big dog. I'm gonna hit the hay.
Yeah, hit the hay. Well, you're gonna hit what?
I'm gonna hit the hay.
What does that mean? I've never understood that. I hear people say that. What does that mean? Like, was there a time where people slept on hay?
Yeah, beds used to be made out of hay, bud.
Okay, when?
Hundreds of years ago.
Okay, so why are you saying it now?
It's just an expression.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm
just asking, like, why are you talking like that? You gonna get in your horse carriage too and get to practice tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the horse carriage. Like nobody says that. Why you say these old lines?
I'm gonna take a horse and buggy to practice tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Do that after you sleep on this hay.
Now, every time you say an idiom, I'm gonna point it out and ask you why you say that.
Dude, I got my own lingo. I don't sit here and say these like old ass lines like you hit the hay.
Hit the hay.
Okay. You gonna send a telegram too? Are you gonna send those tickets that you just gave away, those training camp tickets via telegram?
You know what it said? Well, here's your sign language. There you go. Have a good night.
Are you gonna watch the Texans in black and white too?
Yeah, with the old timey music behind it.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate everyone for coming through. If I didn't get to you on the lines, we open the lines on Tuesday. So just be sure whenever you get in, just let me know what you want to talk about. I appreciate everyone for coming through. We got a lot of stuff to cover. 5 a.m., the Kamari Lassiter Podium Critic is going to drop. You don't want to miss what he had to say. Dude's a very, very easy guy to like. And always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether you're hitting the hay or getting some sleep or what the hell else ever, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up, we number 1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do.